Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing very well. It is quite windy outside, so I do apologize if that comes through. But we are looking at the Italian tech tree today, and this is going to be an in-depth look at the potential new vehicles for Italy, and specifically the Hungarian sub-tech tree that will be coming to the Italian lineup to supplement it and make it more powerful. Without further ado, I suppose let's get on into it. You guys know the spiel. Other than, let's start with the aviation. Let's start there. And let's slow it down a bit. Let's go through this properly because this is quite big. So we've got a Hungarian Harrier, basically the AV8A or AV8, but this is the B variant with a plus or whatever the hell that means. Let's see in terms of missiles, what does it carry? Okay, so it's got the AMG 65, it's got the Mighty Mouse rockets, it can carry a lot of bombs, 250 pounds. Yes, that is pounds, yes. It can carry the Paveway 2, it can carry Snake Eye High Drag, Tailfin retarded bombs, Zuni rockets. These I believe are the same that are on the Zarini. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to double check that. Also, it can carry 6 1,000 pound bombs, Paveway 2 GBU 12s, so GBU 16s and GBU 12s. It can carry 500 pounds, both high drag and normal, as well as a 25mm gun pod. It can carry AIM-9Ls and... okay, I think that's just a modification. So it can carry AIM-9Ls and it can carry up to 4 of them at any given point, obviously past the modification. Can it go Mach? Yes, it can, just barely though. I wouldn't be pushing this thing too far past that. The Harriers are not particularly known for their high-speed airframe strength, let's say that. No additional helicopters are coming to Italy, which makes me very sad. I was kind of hoping the Hungarian helicopters might be added, but I guess not. We can't. We got a sub-ground tech tree. I suppose we can't really ask for it all in the same breath. Let us test drive this as the Kasaba, or the Saba. This has a 20mm anti-tank rifle, if I'm not mistaken. It's a clip size. It's similar to the wheeled Pumas. A very slow. So yeah, okay, it goes through clips of 5. I feel like this APHE is very underwhelming. It should do a lot more in my opinion, just because it is APHE. Let me check the caliber while I'm here. So yes, it is 20mm, so it is an oops daisy. It is an anti-tank gun, or automatic, or autocannon rather. It's got a nice machine gun, it's got a very unique look. I like it a lot. I don't know, it's derpy. Can it go the same in reverse? It looks like it has actually a reverse driver. Yes, it does. So it's got the same as the EBR, where it can go forwards and reverse equally as fast, which is quite nice. I think that's a very unique vehicle. It's quite cute. I think it's quite cute. Now that is the sort of the first vehicle that we'll get. So we've already got the Turan 2 as well as the Zarini, which doesn't seem to be appearing here. The Zarini 1, I believe it is. But then the next vehicle that we will receive or be able to play, sorry, let me not do that, is the Turan 1. So this is essentially all the same as the Turan 2, except it has a 40mm gun as opposed to a 75. It's also probably going to be slightly better in terms of mobility since it's going to have a smaller gun. I don't know. I have personally, I find a lot of luck, and it's very effective. The 75 on the Turan 2, it's just a really good weapons platform. Period. The Turan platform is very good. So this one, we've got the next one. Then is the Zarini 2. It's an SPG. It looks a bit like a Stug, so I'm going to say it's going to play like a Stug. In terms of armor, we've got 75 mils of frontal hull armor, and this is at 2.7. Bear that in mind. So it's going to be quite a chonky boy at 2.7 in terms of SPGs, and also complements the already strong lineup here that sits at 2.3, 2.7. Turan 3, let us see. This is the Derpy Boy from the dev stream. It's got a massive weak spot here in terms of armor plating. This is only 25 millimeters thick. However, it does give you an effective thickness of 81 because of the angling. So I don't know, you might get some really derpy bounces, you might not. I think it's going to be entirely dependent on your luck. Your mantlet seems to be the weakest part of your tank here, which is quite funny because usually the mantlet's quite strong. But anyway, this is the Turan 3 weapon platform. This is a long barrel 75 on the Turan platform. I think this is going to be a really, really good tank just because it's, again, the weapon platform, the platform itself, the Turan platform, the chassis, is very good. And then you're giving it an APHE round, I believe, with a 75. So it's a 75 millimeter, APHE round, which is really, really cool. And very powerful, might I add. Okay, so the Italians are also now getting a ZSU 57. I think that makes it one of the second most distributed tanks after the Sherman, actually, because most nations have a ZSU 57 in some way, shape, or form. So that, like, Sweden's got one, Israel's got one, now Italy's going to get one, China's got one. I don't know if Japan, I don't know, Japan doesn't have one. Obviously, the Germans, the Russians do. Do the Germans have a ZSU 57? Let's see. And no, they do not. Okay. But yeah, it's fairly distributed. Let's go back here quick. So anyway, they get the ZSU 57 at 7.0. The Hungarians also are getting the 2S1, which I already described in the previous video, which the Russians are getting. It's a 2S turret on a semi-amphibious, well, by the looks of it, it's a very long hull. Whether it's going to be amphibious or not, different story. Here we've got the BTR-80A. We've already got one of these in the game. Nothing overly fancy here. Let's see, does it get, so it's got, again, 30mm APDS rounds, shocker. It's the same as the Russian one. Nothing too different there. We've got the ZSU 23-4, which I believe is a Shilka. Yes, it is. So then the Italians are actually getting a Shilka, which is quite cool. Very, very interesting because it does fill that gap quite nicely, and it also complements the Saddam. Saddam is pretty powerful in its own right, but it's I don't know, the Shilka just seems to fill that gap a bit better. I think what most people will do is use the Shilka to kind of bypass the Saddam to get the Mistral one, because that's quite powerful. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. Then they get a Leopard 2A4. I think we've already kind of expected this. Most people will know how the 2A4 plays. It's pretty powerful. It's nothing to scoff at. It's a solid tank. And then obviously the cream of the crop, the Lynx, the KF-41 with spike missiles and a 30mm gun. Yeah, apparently this thing has quite an interesting bug at the moment where when you take it out into battle, the turret is like in the hull. So you can only really see your missile system and your autocannon or your machine gun rather, sorry, at the top peeking through. But this is pretty powerful, all things considered. Let's just suss out our protection analysis. Shall we take the Ariete and give it the DM53? Let's see. So DM53, gonna go through this baby like chalk and cheese. Oh, my game's just crashed. I tried to test the... Okay, so I tried to test the the damage model on that, and it's crashed my game. That's funny. Oh dear, well, there it goes. Stand by. Alright, great. Now that we're back, can we potentially finish this? Alright, so that was quite amusing. But basically that's it really, is so they get the links, there's foldering, they get the Shilka as ZSU, some really, really cool vehicles. But before I go, let us quickly analyze how these are going to complement the lineups that currently exist within War Thunder. So for the Turan, you've got Oh, excuse me. So both for the Turan and the Zerini, you've got a really powerful lineup. You've got the M42 and M41 series self-propelled guns slash tank destroyers, the CM52, but you've also got a really powerful, very underrated tank, the M1542. Um, seriously good tank, and you've obviously got the AB43 and M3A3, the P40, the Panzer III. It's a powerful lineup in rank 2. Moving on for the Turan 3, you can utilize a lot of the vehicles carrying on, but we've got a Sherman as well, longish barrel 75. I think that's actually the short barrel 75. You've got the Shafi. Sorry, I had to think of the common name there for a moment. And then again, the Stug, the M41, the M43 series, and the Contraero, which is also a really good SPG. Going on further, you've got the 2S1. This, I think, is a bit of a sore thumb. So really, the only applicable lineup is coming on the back of going into 5.7 to 6.3/6.7. So your M36B1, and then obviously your M26A1 and your Orbal/Fiat. Then moving on to rank 5, the BTR80, the ZSU57, the C13T90. You get the picture. That's a very powerful 707377 lineup is very strong. The only problem is that you predominantly light vehicles in that lineup. Up until you get the M47. So my suggestion: get the M47, BTR80, ZSU, and then do this, just to get some sustenance, something sustainable in your lineup. But other than that, moving on to rank 6, the Shilka and the T72M1. Actually, I didn't look at this. I kind of brushed over it because it's basically another T72, but it's pretty. I like it. It's cool. It's a T72. Shitty reverse gears, what can we say? But T72 is going to tie in nicely with the VBC, the Saddam, and the Leopard and the Centauro, the early ones. Even the VCC, very strong 9.0 lineup, 9.3 lineup. And even at 8.0, you've got a very powerful lineup with the Shilka, the Saddam, the OF40. You've got the... Okay, not the toe, because that's terrible. But everything else is great. Everything else, except for the toe, is bad. Is good, sorry. Yes, I slip of words, yes. Anyway, moving on, then you've got the Leopard 2A4 and KF41. That I'm not going to go into too much detail. That's just going to complement your top tier lineups, especially the KF41. It's going to be ridiculous, let's be honest. It's going to be a Puma on steroids. Not as well protected, but still pretty good. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got for you for now, unfortunately. I wish I had more dev server content, but that's going to have to wait. Until next time, guys, bye for now.